Hello my dear student, Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? I hope all of you are doing well by the grace of Almighty Allah. I am Hafiza Khatun Konika, Senior Teacher of Milestone School and College, Sector 4 Branch, Uttara, Dhaka. Today I will take your science class and this is lecture number 27. Today I will discuss two topics from chapter 14, and today I will discuss lesson 4 and lesson 5. The name of lesson 4 is balance of carbon and oxygen in the environment, and lesson 5 weather and climate. So student, let's start. Dear student, you know that every class is related with each other. So before starting today's class, I want to discuss previous topics. So can you tell me what was our previous topics? From your previous topics, you learned about atmosphere of the earth, and you also learned different layer of the earth surface. So dear student, now I will tell you about the different layers of earth. So you already know that there are 4 different layers of atmosphere. They are thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere and troposphere. Okay, now I will tell you about thermosphere. Students, here you can see a figure of different layers of atmosphere. You can see here troposphere, right? Up to 11 kilometers from the earth's surface, from the troposphere, this layer contains most of the essential gases like oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide and water vapor. In this layer, all those things happen that influence life of human beings and other organisms, such as cloud, rain, wind, storm, fog, etc. For these happenings, troposphere is the most important layers of the atmosphere. Dear student, now I will tell you about stratosphere. Students, in the figure you can see, after troposphere, stratosphere will start. That means from just above the troposphere, stratosphere will start. What I say? From just above the troposphere, stratosphere will start. And this layer starts from the troposphere and extends up to about 39 kilometers from the earth's surface. Students, please mark this line. This layer will be extend about 39 km from the earth's surface, and the most important thing is this layer contains one gas which name is ozone gas, and this gas protects us from sun's harmful rays, and this layer or above this layer contains less amount of other gases of the atmosphere. Then come to the next point, mesosphere. This layer starts from where stratosphere ends. So after stratosphere, mesosphere will start, and with increase in height of the layer, temperature starts falling. Then last layer, thermosphere. This layer will start after mesosphere, and this layer is almost airless, and here temperature rises fast, so it is called thermosphere. Radio signals are reflected from this layer. So students, then from previous chapter you also learned about water cycle. Now I will tell you about water cycle, okay? Dear student, you know that water cycle is very important for the environment. Say, if surface water including the sea water does not evaporate and remains on the earth, what will happen? Can you tell me? Definitely there will be no rain, no water in the river. In that situation, could we cultivate crops? Even we could not get rainwater or water from the river for irrigation. If there is no rain, no underground water would be available. What would happen if ice on the peak of the mountain and polar regions melts without remaining deposited there? Quantity of seawater would have increased, right? That would cause inundation of coastal areas such as the southern part of Bangladesh. Dear student, you know that natural balance is maintained between the demand and supply of water through water cycle. And you have realized that there is a big effect of solar heat on water cycle. Any disturbance in water cycle will create problems for man and other organisms. And over raining may cause flood if rainwater cannot pass speedily. So flood visits our country almost every year, you know that. Similarly, rise in earth temperature disturbs the water cycle. Dear student, so this is your previous lesson. Now I will ask you some questions from your previous lesson, okay? So you have to give me the answer. Those cannot give me the answer, no problem, because I will tell you the answer also, okay? So let's start. Dear student, here you can see the question. Question number 1. What are the first 4 layers in atmosphere? Students, I know that you know the answer, but still I will tell you. The first 4 layers of atmosphere are number 1, troposphere, number 2, stratosphere, then mesosphere, and last one is thermosphere. Then question number 2. Here you can see the question. What is troposphere? Up to 11 kilometers from the Earth's surface forms the troposphere. The next question, question number 3. What does water vapor convert into after going up into the atmosphere and cooling down? The answer will be the water vapor converts into water droplets. The next question, question number 4. How far does the troposphere extend up to in the atmosphere? Troposphere extends up to 11 kilometers from the Earth's surface. The next question, question number 5. Which layer contains ozone gas? Students, this is most important question for you. The answer will be stratosphere, right? Stratosphere contains ozone gas. The next question, question number 6. And here you can see the question in the board. Question number 6 is, which gas the atmosphere is mainly composed of? The answer will be nitrogen and oxygen gases. So nitrogen and oxygen gases is the mainly source or gas of atmosphere. Next question, question number 7. What is the extension of stratosphere? Can you tell me the answer? The answer will be 39 kilometer. So the extension of stratosphere is 39 kilometer. The next question, question number 8. And here you can see the question. Which two gases of the atmosphere are essential for life? It will be oxygen and carbon dioxide, right? You know that both oxygen and carbon dioxide is important or essential for our life. The next question, question number 9. And here you can see the question. What is the reason for weather changes? You know that the temperature of our earth is increasing day by day. And this is the main reason for weather changes. So you can write like this. The main cause of weather changes is the heat of the sun. Dear student, then last question, question number 10. Here you can see the question. Why is a water cycle important for the environment? Students, you know that the natural balance is maintained between demand and supply of water through the water cycle. If there is no rain, cultivation of crops would be hampered. Even there would be no water under the ground. Snow of the mountain peak and polar regions would melt and the seawater level would go high with the increase in temperature. And as a result, what will happen? Many areas of the world, including parts of Bangladesh, would submerge. So any disturbance in the water cycle can result in unwanted global consequences. Okay? So these all are the questions from your previous topics. Now I will start today's topics. Okay? So let's start for today's class. Our today's first topic is balance of carbon and oxygen in the environment. Dear student, you know that organisms take oxygen for the purpose of respiration. After completion of the process, they release which gas? Carbon dioxide. Okay? The plants take carbon dioxide to manufacture their food, and in this process they release oxygen gas. Okay? In this way, a balance is maintained between oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This balance in the atmosphere is very important because these two gases are essential for life. To understand the two gases, one has to understand carbon cycle. You know that carbon is needed for the formation of body structure of all organisms, and carbon comes from the carbon dioxide of the atmosphere. Plants prepare glucose and oxygen from water and carbon dioxide of the atmosphere by photosynthesis process. Glucose is prepared by plants, you know, right? Animals get carbon through food from the plants. Carbon from the body of organisms comes back to atmosphere through three processes. Firstly, plants and animals at the time of respiration break glucose to produce energy using oxygen from the atmosphere and release carbon dioxide, right? Secondly, when plants and animals are burned, carbon dioxide is produced and mixed up with the atmosphere. The next one, when plant and animal bodies are petrified by bacteria and fungi in the soil, they release carbon dioxide gas. Now it is clear that the plants collect carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and deposit it in plants and animals' body through production of glucose. Carbon from plants and animal body goes back to the atmosphere in three ways. In this way, balance of carbon or carbon dioxide in the environment is maintained. Due to this imbalance of nature, the climate has been changed, and we will learn it in this chapter. Okay, students, now I will show you a small video on these topics. Okay, so please enjoy this video. Okay, after seeing this video, I think all of your confusion will be cleared.
Topic, we're going to talk about the oxygen cycle. Take a deep breath in and then breathe out. If you don't have coughs and colds, then it's a clear, yummy breeze, right? But why do we need to breathe in and breathe out? Let's dive in and find out. We living things breathe through the process called respiration. That's when oxygen is breathed in and carbon dioxide is breathed out. But mostly, we survive because of oxygen. It's the food for our cells. Oxygen can be found in the atmosphere. In fact, this gas makes up about 30% of the Earth and about 21% of the air in the Earth's atmosphere. It also makes up about 65% of the mass of the human body. But since all of us are using it, will it run out eventually? The answer is no. Nature is so good at balancing things. That's why there is a process called oxygen cycle. So what is the oxygen cycle? Basically, it's about using and recycling oxygen without you noticing. It's a biogeochemical cycle about the movement of oxygen throughout the Earth's three main reservoirs: the lithosphere or the land, the hydrosphere or the waters, and the atmosphere or the air. There's quite a number of processes where oxygen is produced or used up. Fun fact, learners, did you know that oxygen also occurs in other colors other than being colorless? That's right, some of the colors are red, pink, orange, and black. And there is even a form of oxygen that looks like metal. Oxygen is produced by the plants, and some of it is produced when sunlight reacts with water vapor in the atmosphere. On the other hand, oxygen is used up during respiration or when we breathe. It's also used up during decomposing or decaying of plants and animals. Combustion or burning also uses up oxygen, along with heat and fuel. These processes use up oxygen and releases carbon dioxide into the air. Lastly, the rusting or oxidation uses up oxygen that causes the metal to rust. So how does the oxygen cycle takes place? An example of oxygen cycle is in between animals and plants. Let's start with plants and photosynthesis. Every day when the sun is up, plants take energy from the sun, carbon dioxide from the air, and water to make their food like sugar or glucose. Now this food making process is called photosynthesis. In return, plants release oxygen into the air. And the next process is the respiration or breathing. Oxygen which was released by plants is used by us humans, animals, and other organisms. The simple reason why we need oxygen is to break down the simple sugars that our stomach absorbs from eating, and then energy is generated to feed our cells and to sustain ourselves, like doing our everyday activities. Exercising, jogging, or sports make us breathe faster to make up the need for more oxygen. And after using this energy, carbon dioxide is produced during our exhaling or even farting. This carbon dioxide is again taken up by plants for photosynthesis and thus producing again more oxygen. And these processes repeat over and over again, forming a cycle which is the oxygen cycle. Carbon cycle is also part and related to the cycle. All of us must learn the importance of oxygen and plants. Let's take care of our trees and plant more and more of them to sustain our life even in the far future. So learners, now...
Dear student, now our next topics. Our next topics is weather and climate. Now I will tell you about it. Gusty wind may blow tomorrow from the northwest side of Dhaka and its surroundings. It is just an example, okay? Throughout the major part of the body, the sky will be free from clouds. But in the evening, there is a possibility of accumulation of dark clouds in the northeast corner of the sky. Today, relative humidity of Dhaka was 60%. Just think, it is an example. Today's highest temperature was 34 degrees Celsius at Dhaka, and then lowest temperature was 24 degrees Celsius in Chittagong. Did you listen such bulletins at the end of radio or television news? What is the news about? What do you learn about from this such kind of news? Is there any possibility of storm or rain? Can we learn whether it will be hot or cold tomorrow? Yes. Usually the last part of this news contains the bulletin whether there is possibility of rain or storm or not. What the day's temperature will be, how much rainfall was recorded and in which places, or what was the highest and lowest temperature of the day. There are all weather bulletins. Is it possible to understand what weather it from the weather bulletin? Obviously, right? Now I will tell you the perfect definition of weather, and here you can see it. So weather means the conditions of atmosphere for the short period in a particular area, and temperature and pressure of air, wind direction and speed, humidity or quantity of water vapors in the air, cloud, fog and rainfall, etc. make the weather. Do you need any example? So see the example. When the highest temperature was 35 degrees Celsius, it means that the day's atmosphere was hot, right? When the highest temperature was 13 degrees Celsius, it means that the day was cold. The sky was cloudy or the day was foggy. These conditions indicates weather for a short period. Then I will tell you about definition of climate. We used to say that today weather was cool but it was too hot at noon. Weather may change in no time. On the other hand, climate does not change suddenly. Climate is the average result of many years' weather of an area. Now example. We used to say that climate of Bangladesh is hot and moist. It means in Bangladesh one feels hot and the other is wet. Climate of Russia is mainly cold. This statement indicates that Russia is cold round the year. Now I will tell you about the difference between weather and climate. So please listen to me carefully, okay? Factors of weather and climate are basically the same. Temperature, air, pressure, humidity, rainfall are the factors of weather and climate. When factors are same, what are the difference between weather and climate? You have already known the relationships between these two. Climate is actually the mean result of weather for a long period. And now I will tell you about it. So here you can see the difference between weather and climate. Weather number 1. Weather reflects short-term condition of the atmosphere. Then climate number 1. Climate is the average daily weather for a long period of time at a certain location. Then weather number 2. Weather changes refer to specific instant of time. Then climate. It takes over a long time, like 10 to 30 years, and for a longer area. Then weather number 3. Weather is affected by climate change. On the other hand, affected by temperature, air pressure and moisture. The next one, weather of a nearby places may vary, but climates of certain regions will be same. Now example, that means weather number 5. There was rain in Faridpur but no rain in Borishal. Example of climate. Climate of Bangladesh, Thailand and India are same. So students, this is the difference between weather and climate. Now I will show you a small video on weather and climate. So please watch this video and enjoy this video, okay?
Day with clear sunshine makes us happy. When it is too hot, we are happier to see the cloud and have rain. Our habits depend on the type of climate we have during a period. Weather is so important that there are daily forecasts about it on the television, radio, and in the newspapers. Let us know about weather and climate. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to define weather and climate, understand a weather report. You might have come across the situation that a sunny morning suddenly changes to a cloudy day and it starts raining heavily. Or heavy rain vanishes within few minutes and gives way to bright sunshine. This is called change in weather. The temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind, and other factors are called the elements of weather. The weather of a place depends on these factors. Weather is about the various changes that occur in the atmosphere of our Earth. The weather is such a complex phenomenon that it can vary over very short periods of time. Do you know what the reason of changing weather is? The sun causes all changes in the weather. Energy absorbed and reflected by the Earth's surface, oceans, and the atmosphere play important roles in determining the weather at any place. Also, deviation in the Earth's orbit, continental drift, and greenhouse effect are the additional causes of the changes in weather. Rachel is looking at weather report in newspaper. Here is a weather report for you. As from the report you can see, date, month and days are given in the first row of the table. In the second row, weather of respective day is shown. In third row, minimum and maximum temperatures of the day are shown. These minimum and maximum temperatures are accorded by special thermometers called maximum and minimum thermometers. In the fourth row of the table, you can see the humidity. Humidity is measured by hygrometer. In some weather reports, a row for rainfall is also given. Rainfall is measured by an instrument called rain gauge. Let us know how climate is different than weather. The average weather pattern taken over a long time, say 25 years, is called the climate of the place. If temperature at a place is high most of the time, it is said to have a hot climate. If it has heavy rainfall in addition to high temperature, then we say that the climate of that place is hot and wet. For recording climate conditions, the mean temperature of a given month for a particular place is found in 2 steps. First, average of the temperatures recorded during the month is calculated. Summary. Let us summarize what we have learned. The day-to-day condition of the atmosphere at a place in terms of temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called the weather at that place. The average weather pattern taken over a long time, say 25 years, is called the climate of the place. সারাদিন রোজার পর
Dear student, now it's time to give you some related question. Here you can see some question, okay? Question number 1, what is weather? Question number 2, what is climate? Question number 3, write the difference between weather and climate. The next question, question number 4, why is the weather dry and less rainy in winter in Bangladesh? And the next question, question number 5, how balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide is established in the atmosphere? Dear student, so these are the related question which is related with today's lecture. So please learn and write this answer of this question in your home. Now I will give you your homework. Here you can see your homework, okay? The question is, write the difference between weather and climate. Students, please learn and write this question, okay? So students, thank you so much for watching this video. See you soon. Till then, stay home, be safe. God bless all of you. Allah Hafiz and Assalamu Alaikum.